So why is dual agency so bad for the buyer and for the seller? Look, I get saving money. I'm all about that. We in our practice have an ability to walk that situation, not in a fine line. You can't put the same butt on two horses. And that's what you have on dual agency. Hey, I'll represent you buyer and I'll represent you seller. And hey, somewhere in the middle, we'll walk this fine line where I'll kind of, we'll guide you here. And look, I've done real estate for 30 years. Call me old fashioned. I have a way in our practice where we'll get you the discount because we got our own buyers for your property. But look, we need to have another agent represent that. In fact, I'll give you two examples. Pretty rare that they happen, but they happened within weeks of each other. Like literally in the last 60 days, I had two escrows, two properties. I was representing a buyer on one and a seller on the other one. And then we had a separate one. We were representing the seller on two. It was this situation where leaks developed literally right before close of escrow. One happened 3 days afterwards. It was bananas. And so you can imagine real estate is emotional enough and it's tense enough. And now you've got a situation, a major repair, leak, which sometimes could be like, oh my God, they're sitting water as their mold. And if I had been in that conversation representing the buyer and the seller to save a few bucks, let me tell you, that would have not been good. Because in that situation, you're taken aside pretty darn quickly, and you better represent your buyer or your seller in what real estate terms call a fiduciary. See, when you work with an agent, you hire them to have you be their fiduciary. So if you've got a buyer and a seller, then that fiduciary means we're working for you to do the very best information, the very best outcome, the very best source, the very best everything. You're my fiduciary. In fact, it's a lot like attorney-client privilege. I can't share what you're sharing with me with another agent to your detriment. I'm not sure how you do that in a dual agency. Not sure. So that's why we don't. So take that for whatever it's worth. Take the savings, make it work. And outside of that, gosh darn it, not really a great way to go. So hope this information was helpful when you're learning about dual agency. And we're here to help and answer some questions. Hopefully you're not in a weird situation right in the middle with a dual agency now.